Welcome to the Sex and Love Labcast. This week on the podcast, we're going to be talking about all the different types of female orgasms and the ones I've experienced. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the Sex and Love Labcast. I'm your host, Lauren, and today's topic is orgasms. Now, before I get started doing that, I did forget to start my timer again because all I do is forget to start my timer. So let me just scroll down here to my pod timer and there, fixed it. But I did have to touch my laptop. Also, my laptop has fallen off of my desk twice today. Now, my desk is not really a desk. It is one of those very thin, like tables you put behind your couch to hold knickknacks, And I've got my laptop up on a little stool. So it's moving on a stool. So the camera's the right height. We listen and we do not judge our setups. Anyway, one of my experiences with the guy I was dating was that I had a specific type of orgasm for the first time in my life. I will be 43 in July, and so this was crazy. But I want to go down the list of the different types of orgasms first, and I'll tell you about my experiences. All right, so first is the clitoral orgasm, right? That is the most common type of orgasm. 75% of women need clitoral stimulation in order to orgasm. A lot of women can use that and have a vaginal and a clitoral orgasm at the same time, which is called a blended orgasm and is mentioned later in this list. But I have, for the most part, my entire life only had clitoral orgasms. Um, I don't, I don't know why, but even as a teenager, like I didn't really try for penetration stuff. Like, I mean, Walmart had those little massager toys that weren't toys, but were toys. And you girls know what I'm talking about. They had little personal massagers. Anyway, maybe I shouldn't get into all that. Anyway, yeah. So even like during sex, like I still need clitoral stimulation. And a lot of dudes don't like you to have toys in bed for whatever reason, and I don't understand it. I've always told people, especially like when I worked at the adult store, if they came in and were kind of anti-toy, I'm like, yo, it's not about, it's not you versus the toy. It's you and the toy versus your partner, right? So there's the clitoral orgasm. Um, and I would say even just like solo play, the clitoral is the 99.999% of the types of orgasms that I have had. Okay. It's just the easiest for me, whether it is now my favorite toy is what's in my drawer. It is a womanizer. I will show a picture up here on the screen of a womanizer, and you can see what it looks like. They're great. It has they call it suction, but it's not actually suction. It's air pulse technology. But what it is the air pulses out, and when it pulls back, like when the mechanism pulls back in, that's what feels like suction, and it also vibrates, and it's really great. So the second is a vaginal or G-spot orgasm. Now, the vaginal orgasm is the one that I had for the first time with my the guy that I was dating. But let's also talk about the G-spot. I had never had anyone like really try to play with my G-spot, and I didn't really ask for it. But my ex was very keen on figuring out my body. It was really cool. And he still had a little bit of, I think he felt a little bad that I couldn't just orgasm vaginally, but that's just who I am. But when he was like playing with my G spot while I was using my womanizer, wow, I orgasmed so much faster, like so much faster. And I tried to explain that to him. I'm like, sometimes even like solo play with myself, just depending upon the day, can take 30 to 45 minutes. When I was on three different anxiety medications, it could take sometimes an hour to an hour and a half. And having him play with my G spot reduced, playtime, or the not playtime, because it didn't reduce playtime, but the time it took to orgasm, it reduced it greatly. So I'm really excited to have a partner in the future who also is keen on figuring out that area of my body. But the G spot is short for Grafenberg spot. It says it is the name given to the small nerve-rich area above the front vaginal wall. It's a controversial topic because some sexperts insist the G spot is a myth. But does it really matter? If massaging the area in a come hither motion gets you to the big O, then the G spot is certainly real for you. I think it's real. I did experience that. And there are a lot of toys that are specifically made for G spots. They tend to be, again, I have one, but it is actually on this table behind me. It They curve. They actually have a womanizer that is for the G spot, which is also really nice. All right, so the third one. Well, actually, no, let's go through them and then I'll go back and talk about my vaginal orgasm. A blended orgasm. It it's when multiple areas are being touched or pleasured. So it can be it says that can occur when you're in the middle of fast-paced sex or when you're slowly building up to the main event. You can have a clitoral and vaginal orgasm. You can have a vaginal and anal orgasm, which we'll get to. You can have different types of orgasms at one time, or they feel like something totally different because you have so many different areas of your body being stimulated. It's it's weird though because for so long, like I was with men who just didn't care about me orgasming. And so like even reading this is a little I'm feeling a little, what's the word? I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but it's like I feel like I shouldn't be talking about this. Of all the things that I've talked about, I feel like I shouldn't be talking about this. There's something happening internally here. It's like you should just be grateful for sex, but no, we should be grateful for orgasms, and we should want to be with people who want us to have orgasms. I think it's just it has been so common for me in the past to be with men who didn't care. And now I have been with several men like in the last couple years that really did care. And it's really cool, but it's brand new. And so it's like, it's weird having to adjust your brain to understand that somebody really wants to be focused on your pleasure too. Multiple orgasms, they can either be, I'm sorry, I'm a little froggy and I'm almost out of water. Multiple orgasms can either be sequential, when you orgasm, rest, and then orgasm again, or serial, one orgasm after another with no rest in between. I have never had that. Though my ex kept telling me about rolling orgasms. He just wanted me to have rolling. Well, I've never done that. But I did have them like orgasm, rest, orgasm. And the most I did was like 8 orgasms. I want to say like in 2.5 to 3 hours. Ooh, and it was solo. I was solo playing. Um, but it can happen. Anal orgasms. Also, this site is on lovehoney.com. I will link this article. Look, there's Looney. There's also a guest in here today. I don't know where he is. Ham. Oh, here he is. Here's Ham. Yummy cake. Come here, Ham. Come here, Hammy. Come here, Hammy. Come here, Hammy. He doesn't want to come see. But Luna wants to see. Oh, there's Hammy. Hammy's so sweet. This is my friend Charity's puppy dog. He's a good dog. Him and Luna are boyfriend and girlfriend. She won't tell us, but you can tell. You can tell. All right. So I will link this in the description though. You might not have considered it, but you may be someone who can orgasm during anal. Lots of women can reach orgasm during anal sex. It just isn't talked about much in popular culture. The anal walls are rich in nerve endings, so why deprive yourself of an amazing orgasm? Make sure you use lots of lube and go slow if you're a beginner. So anal is a whole nother topic, but you can have an anal orgasm. In fact, I have, before I had my first vaginal orgasm, I had gotten closer to orgasming. Here's him. I had gotten closer to orgasming anally than vaginally. I don't know why, but I did. All right, now this one I have had several. The sleepgasm, and they say AKA snorgasm. The sheer power of the brain means that women can orgasm whilst they sleep. And it makes a lot of sense. If you're asleep, you're at your most relaxed. Aren't worried about what you look like, about what your performance in bed is like. Um, It says that when these negative thoughts occur during sex, it is known as spectatoring and it can be a huge barrier. But in your sleep, your mind can freely explore your sexual fantasies without feeling rushed or judged. I remember having my first orgasm in my sleep as like a preteen. No, well, I was maybe 12 or 13. Let's see, I can remember the house I was in. So I would have been, yeah, 12 or 13 for sure. And I've had many, many since then. Don't know how, don't know why. I don't know what causes them. Um, I mean, it's cool. Usually I wake up and I'm like, oh, well, some kind of face like that. Yeah, it happens. I mean, it happens to dudes too. It's a wet dream, right? Um, and I don't know why people don't talk about this. Is there any female that is brave enough to put in the comments if you've had an orgasm in your sleep? Anybody? Please? All right, seven is a cervical orgasm. This is one of the most powerful orgasms a woman can have, sometimes known as the full body orgasm, because of the way it washes over you from head to toe. The cervical orgasm is best achieved via deep vaginal penetration. Sex therapists suggest warming up with a few different positions beforehand and doing it doggy style to get as deep as possible. So I have had two of these by myself. Okay, by myself. One of the toys I remember like I had it in me and was I have quick twitch, really fast quick twitch muscles in my hand. I don't if you're on Spotify, you can't see me moving my hands. Oh, that looks so dirty. But yeah, so like I did that with the vibrator I had in there. So it was like hitting my cervix really fast. And all of a sudden, like I'm orgasming. And it was one of those full body ones. Like it was crazy. I have never in my life experienced anything like that. And I was like, what the hell did I just do? Can I do it again? I did do it again much later, but I did. Um, the U spot orgasm. Okay, so this one is pretty controversial. The U spot is about the urethra. Okay. The urethra isn't just for peeing, ladies. It is surrounded by some of the hidden parts of the clitoris that are internal rather than external, like the head. And that's true. When your urethra is stimulated, blood rushes to the erectile tissue that surrounds the open, and this can result in ejaculation or squirting. But it can also be very prone to infection, so do your research before you start trying for this kind. Oh, and make sure to have a towel handy. Now, I have never had one of these. I've never squirted before, although I would say about 85% of the men that I have chatted with to the point that we talked about sex are like, just haven't been the right man. Maybe. Um, but you also like squirting is not exclusive to playing with the urethra. It's just not. But when there are certain types of orgasm, like there is this type of orgasm, and there are certain types of play that will stimulate that area, which is why you have the squirt or female ejaculate. They actually make towels too that you can put down. Not towels, it's a blanket. It's like a waterproof blanket made for that. Hey, is there a waterproof blanket brand that wants to sponsor me? Inbox me. Inbox me. I'll do, I'll do my best to squirt for you. Um, this is a weird job. An A spot orgasm. So the anterior fornix exogenous zone, or the second G spot, is located above the cervix in the region of the belly button. It is best reached after considerable foreplay has taken place and with a generous amount of lube. So take your time before aiming for this kind of climax. Get your partner to touch the A spot with the pad of their finger or a toy, and then pull down across the front wall for a wake the neighbor style orgasm. I have not worked to have one of these orgasms, so I do not know what this feels like. But hey, cool. All right, a nipple orgasm. Now, what you guys don't see because you're not on this site right now is that there is a GIF of somebody bouncing Megan Fox's boobs. They're nice. Very nice. You can't look at it. Anyway, your breasts have orgasmic potential. It turns out that breast and nipple play lights up the same part of the brain that responds to genital and clitoral stimulation. Having your boobs fondled, massaged, or sucked, and the list goes on, also triggers the release of oxytocin. If you want to have a nipple orgasm, edging is key. First, massage the area around the breast, torso, and tummy to tease yourself and encourage circulation around your chest. Then circle and caress your breasts using a feather-like touch. Don't touch your areolas or nipples until you are seriously aroused. Once you feel like you can't wait any longer, run your fingers around your areola and start to pinch your erect nipples from base to tip. This should result in multiple waves of pleasure washing over you. Now, I don't know about all of that science. I did have a nipple orgasm one time as a teenager. Um, okay. Okay, you know what? I've shared so much. Just gonna share this. I had a teddy bear and I used the teddy bear's hand on my breast and used that for simulation. And I don't know how it works, but it happened. Um, I don't know what happened to that teddy bear. I never could make it happen again. I haven't made it happen since. But I did have an orgasm from nipple play. A coregasm. Now, this is one I will probably never ever have. Okay. I have to sneeze. So I am going to mute myself. Okay, so now I might sound a little more stopped up, but I just sneezed 3 times. So it says if you ever needed more motivation exercise, read on orgasms or exercise-induced orgasms are a real thing. First mentioned by famed sexologist Alfred Kinsey in 1953, these orgasms tend to occur when you are working on your core muscles. I don't think I have core muscles, just a nice layer of fat. A orgasm will begin somewhere around your abdominals and can happen during or shortly after exercise. So that's really cool. And yeah, that is a really cool way to motivate yourself to exercise. But I wonder how Let's see if we can find out how common that is. How common are, sometimes I wish I could type better, core orgasms. 9% of people report having experienced at least one in their lifetime. So if you have that, you're lucky. You're lucky. All right, the 12th one, this one, if you've had one of these, you better tell me. It says, it's expanded sexual response. The definition of this rare phenomenon is quite a complex one. Women who experience expanded sexual response are able to have multiple prolonged, intense orgasms. Although it is not yet fully understood by the scientific community, researchers think ESR, is caused by activating the pudendal pelvic, hypogastric, and vagus nerves simultaneously. Women who have experienced ESR have reported seeing flashes of light and color during orgasm, having out of body experiences, and even feeling as though an earthquake is occurring. What? That sounds fun. Talk about seeing fireworks. All right, so look at Ham. Ham, do you want out? Can you wait like 20 minutes? Come here. Yeah, he hears people out there. So that's the different types of orgasms. So clitoral is definitely the one that I've had the most. I would say like I did have the cervical orgasm a couple times with a toy myself. But after this happened with Mr. the X, I wanted to tell you guys about it. I wanted to tell you guys about it a long time ago. But I kind of was trying to work through that and pack it away. But I wanted to tell you about it because the whole thing, honestly. Like he was very focused on making sure that I was pleasured. He's a pleaser. And it's really fun to, I say fun. It is fun to be with a pleaser. I am also a pleaser in ways. And so it was difficult because like I was fine with he wants out so bad. I was fine with it just being about him, and he was totally fine if it was just about me. And we had a great time. So, this was the first time that I stayed at his house, and oh man, just the whole experience actually was great. He did, like, he was using like play with my G spot, and like he took the time to use his fingers. And I don't typically like fingers, but he was really trying. He was being very intentional with his his use of his fingers. And so it was good. Hammy, come here, Hammy. Come on up. And come up. He wants to go play with the other dogs. Um, so I had already, hang on, let me go let this poor dog out. All right, Luna went with them. I told you that's her boyfriend. This seems in the way. Did I move it? I don't know. So I'd already had an orgasm from his G-spot stimulation and me using my toy. And like we had probably already been like going at it 30 to 45 minutes in different ways, starting from making out and giving each other oral. And then we were in doggy and he's going at it. And I'm like, what is that feeling? What is that? Um, it didn't feel like like a normal clitoral orgasm. With a clitoral orgasm, at least for me, there's this buildup, right? And like it's like you're coming up to the edge of the cliff and then you jump off and it's just whoa, right? But with the vaginal orgasm, for me, it was different. And it felt like it was coming from like the anterior section of my vaginal canal. I'm not quite sure. I know there is an erogenous zone back there that I don't think was listed on that list. And it wasn't this giant explosion like a clitoral orgasm is for me. It was, I can't even describe it. Like, it just felt like from this one spot, like, let me not put my hands right in front of my face. It felt like in this one spot, right? It started to just kind of like this pleasure started to grow in this one spot. And it wasn't necessarily waves, but it was noticeable. And mine lasted for quite a little while. And he finished towards the end of that for me. Like and I was so like just out of breath. I I don't I don't know what happened, but I had never experienced it in my life. And he finished, and then we laid there, and I'm like clinging to him, breathing heavy, and I couldn't even hardly speak. And I was like, I think I had an orgasm. And he was like, what do you mean you think you did? So he wasn't offended, but I think that, I mean, like for guys, it is or it isn't, right? Like you can have an orgasm hands-free as a guy with different types of stimulation. Um, but it's very evident when you have an orgasm. They have different types too, but it's very evident, right? And maybe it's just because I'd never had it before, but I was like, this is what happened to me, and I think that this was an orgasm. And that was the first one in 42 years. Now, to be fair, I have been having sex since I was 28. So, not a, I mean, I guess it is a ton of time, really, if you think about it. Gosh, I'm getting old. But I had my first orgasm at the age of 11. So if you look at, just that's 31 years. So it took me 31 years to have my first actual vaginal orgasm. And I don't know that I'll ever be able to replicate it. If I can't, that's okay. But it was an experience. And so I just, after I told him, I just had to explain to him the types of orgasms that I've had. Okay. I don't know who just let the dog in, but the dog is back. Hi, him. Um, so yeah, it was a really special thing, and I'm glad it was with him, even if we're not together anymore. I'm glad it was with him. I did have another one the next time that we saw each other, and I mean, I hope to have one in the future. Which leads me to, I guess, another whole thought entirely. Um, on my dating profile, I have that I'm a sex coach, and I'm not trying to put out there that I'm a slut because I'm not. I'm very picky. If you are a slut, it's cool. If you want to sleep with a different person every day, I don't care. For me, it became very damaging. So I am very picky about who I choose to give my time to, whether it's emotionally or sexually. I'm going to give my time to someone who I know is going to put time into me, just like I'm going to put into them. And now that I've had these experiences sexually, I'm like, even more picky. So I put that kind of stuff in my profile so folks know that I am knowledgeable. Okay. I am knowledgeable. Now, it doesn't always work in my favor, but I also I prefer to discuss sex in general at some point before meeting someone because I'm not going to invest my time in you if I know that you're not willing to be a little adventurous or, really try with my body or do certain things. Just not. Because now I do at least know that in order for me to achieve like a vaginal orgasm, there's a lot of warm up there. Like maybe I need to have a regular orgasm first, and maybe I need the G-spot stimulation, and maybe I need the oral first, and maybe I need this and that. Maybe I need to do this first to you, and maybe I need to be touched here first. He was very attentive to the places, and very intentionally so to places that don't normally get touched. Um, there I go saying again. I posted on Facebook the other week. I was like, I say so much on my podcast. And so this last time I was really trying, I was gonna try not to, and then I didn't even think about it. And so now I just said it and realized it. And I've probably said it 75 times. And now I'm gonna be conscious of it for the next 10 to 15 minutes while I finish this podcast. And I'm gonna try not to say but I guarantee you I'm going to. Oh well. So I'm very picky, but I'm also very open. And a lot of times when I'm open about talking about things like this that I want to get the results that I want, it backfires a little sometimes. Sometimes. So, uh, all things are possible through my womanizer, which strengthens me. What types of orgasms have you had? Women, vagina owners. Have you had any of those orgasms? I really wanted to talk to somebody who like exclusively has vaginal orgasms and bring them on and be like, tell me, tell me about this. I want to know how this goes. Like, I can't imagine. I mean, it's only 25% of women that are able to orgasm vaginally without any other stimulation. That's wild to me, you know? One out of every four women can orgasm without other stimulation, just can have sex and orgasm. Like, that must be nice. But, I can't complain because the clitoral orgasms I have sometimes 45 seconds to a whole minute. And apparently that's a long time for one. And I didn't know that. I didn't know that until last year when I was at work and there was a vendor who was talking to us about some of their products and they started talking about the length of orgasms. I was like, can you answer a question for me? And they're like, yeah, I was like, what is the average length of an orgasm? And here, let me look it up because I can't remember exactly. Do. Average. I feel like this is information I should know. Average length of, no, not if, of a female orgasm. Yeah. This says a female orgasm can last between 3 and 35 seconds. This one says 20 to 35 seconds, 13. A study found that this is why I wanted him to go. Uh-uh. Ham. No, sir. Lay down. Um, a study found the average time to reach orgasm was 13 minutes and 25 seconds. That seems about right. A study at Geneva University found that female orgasm is accompanied by 3 to 15 involuntary contractions of the pelvic muscles and that the event lasts between 3 and 26 seconds. And I have some that are shorter, but most of them are closer to like 45 seconds to a minute. And I can have those contractions after my orgasm has like stopped. So I'm blessed in some ways, so I'm definitely not complaining. But I definitely would like a partner that is committed to helping me have the best orgasms. Like I'm committed to helping them have the best orgasms, you know? Mhm. I think that's fair. Fair and fun. So I think that's it for today. It was a good experience. I'm glad I had it. I'm glad it was with the guy that it was with. He, super nice guy. Wish it would have worked out. I think we could have had a lot of really great sexual stuff, but it is what it is. So to wrap things up, I thought I've screenshotted a few of the dating profiles that I've come across lately, and I thought I would just, give you a little treat. So let me see if I can find one. Oh, you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. This is not really an intro. This is just a conversation. This guy was really cute, and I am a little bit weird about people calling me pet names out of the gate. I don't like it. You have to earn the right to call me a pet name. I don't know if that's my experience with BDSM. I don't know what it is, but I don't like it. And most guys, when I'm like, "Hey, can you just call me my name?" they get offended. So this guy said, "Good morning, beautiful. And how was your night?" This was Friday morning, and I had a bad day yesterday. Today is Saturday. Yesterday was Friday. It was bad. I told him that. I was like, "My Thursday was good." And he's like, "Okay, babe." Ugh. I had to block him. I just had to delete the conversation. Normally, I would explain to him what bothered me and then move forward with my life, but I just didn't even, which is actually probably a win for me because I am so hell-bent on always letting someone know exactly what they did. Now, my roommate says that I'm doing the Lord's work and doing that, but I don't like to do it because people usually just get mad, but I feel the need to tell them, but I didn't this time. I just deleted the conversation because I can. So, if you're listening, don't call me pet names unless we've talked about it, please. Because I'm Lauren. I am, ooh, sorry, ASMR. Um, I like my name. I like being me. And if you call me babe, it just makes it feel like you're talking to 20 other women. So I'm Lauren. I am a sex, love, and intimacy coach here in Pensacola, Florida. My info will be somewhere on the screen. I also have a group for women on Facebook. We've been a little bit light in conversation lately. Life has been, well, you guys know, it's been a little bit hard. But hopefully I'll be getting back into the swing of things with that. We are so close, so close to 300 members. And I'm going to give away some free sessions once we hit 300 members. And when I say sessions, I mean coaching. Okay. So you can join that. That's the Venus and Vixen Academy on Facebook. Um, if you need somebody to talk to about something, get at me. We'll make something work. It's not, necessarily just for sex stuff. I'm working with, people on dating styles, getting back out there. I've worked through divorces and breakups and finding people's kinks and helping them discover what they like, what they don't like, and why. And, there's a broad spectrum of possibilities. So inbox me and we'll talk next week. I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here. Please remember to hit like and share and drop me a comment.